Okay, so let's continue with the rest of the method. Now I'm going to show you the drawBoundingBox method, and you might be wondering what is that, right? So in order to explain that, let me go back to Spine and explain to you that concept. So up until this point, all you have seen on the screen have been just images moving around on the screen. But if you notice, so far we cannot interact with those images. They are just playing an animation that we predefine in Spine, and that's all. So in the implementation that I am proposing with the SpineHelper class, we're going to use the concept of a bounding box in order to have interactivity with our image on the screen. So what is a bounding box? A bounding box is just an image, an invisible image that gets drawn on top of the images and the bones that we have here. So if we want to have some kind of interactivity with our images, we need to draw a bounding box. So in this case, I want to have interactivity with the center of our orange guy. So I need to draw a bounding box around the center. So in order to do that, you need to select the bone. It doesn't have to be this one specifically. You can draw a bounding box around the head or any of the arms or legs, or you can even draw a bounding box that covers the entire area of our character. In this case, I only want to have interactivity with the center, so that's why I'm only drawing a bounding box around here. So let me do that. So I want to select the bone first, which is the center. And then, okay, here's the bone. And down here in New, I need to click on Bounding Box. And that is going to, okay, let's create a name. And I'm gonna give it the name of BB, which stands for Bounding Box Center. But you can give any name that you want. And that automatically creates a slot called BB Center. And here is our bounding box underneath the bone, in this case the center bone. Now, as you can see, it automatically highlighted this button over here that it's asking me to set the points. So, and if I drag around here on the screen, you can see a green dot moving around. So all I have to do is mark the places or the corners where I want to have the bounding box. So I'm going to click here as my first point. Then I want another corner in this point over here. This is the third point. Fourth point. And here I am closing the loop. So that's my bounding box. So it's ready. So now we can add interactivity to this animation, specifically by clicking or touching or doing anything we want with the center of the screen. So let's save the project now, and we're going to export the project again. So click on Export, JSON, preprint, non-essential data. Make sure that you select the correct folder and click on Export. So our export is complete. Now let me close Spine. Okay, so we created a new JSON file. It's exactly the same as the orange guy spine.json, but I'm gonna use this skeleton JSON file just for testing these other methods that I want to show you. So here on the config table, I need to replace the orange guy spine.json by the new JSON file that I generated, which is skeleton.json. And then we can apply, well, I'm going to have debug enabled because otherwise the bounding box wouldn't be visible. So let me show you without the debug mode right now. So let's play the project. And when you play the project, you will won't notice anything different. You will see the character moving in the exact same way as before. But once I enable the debug mode and play the project again, now you will start to see other images and other items that you didn't see before. In this green box that you see around the center of the character, that is our bounding box. And so now let's start applying our method to apply some interactivity to the center. So going back here to the method, you can see that we have 3 parameters that are required, which are the bone, the slot, and the bounding box. So let's copy the method over here. So I need a table for my parameters. So let me stop Corona for now. And I need to get the names for the bone, the slot, and the bounding box. So let me get those in here. We can get the names from the Spine project. So let's open Spine again. Okay, so the first thing I need is the bone. So let's go back here to our nodes for the bones. And the name of the bone is center. So let's put that. No, let me back up for a second. Yes, the bounding box is part of the bone name center. So let's change that. Okay, so the next item I need is the slot. If you remember, as soon as we created the bounding box, it automatically created a slot. So the name of the slot and the name of the bounding box is the same. So BB center. So let's change that parameter. So I don't need Spine anymore. Let me close it because it makes my machine very, very slow. And let's run our project again, just to see if we have everything correctly. I have an error here on the bone name. The name of the bone is center. So nothing changes. If I click here, nothing's happening. Now let me show you something, another property that I hadn't shown to you, but I think this is the appropriate time to show it to you. I'm going to add some interactivity to our bounding box by applying some properties to our orange guy. So first I want to enable dragging with our orange guy. So let's do that. I want the orange guy to have dragEnabled equals true. So let's save it. And that means that as soon as I click the bounding box over here, that means that I can drag my animation around the screen. And when I release the button of the mouse, it resumes the animation in the exact place where it was. Let's do it again. It's moving around and goes back to the place it was. There's another property that you can change here. Let me show it to you. Let's say that you don't want to have the animation to be playing after you release the button on a dragging action. Let me set this to false. By default is set to true. So here we have our animation playing again. If I click on the bounding box, I move my image around, and once I release the button, nothing happens because I set to false this property of playAnimationAfterDrag. So there you have it. This is just the start of making some interactivity using bounding boxes. Let me stop the video now so I can show you some other features that I have in the class for another video. See you in the next one.